Crypto kids, welcome back to another video. Today we can see that the Bitcoin volatility is now here. In the past video we mentioned that Bitcoin can, well, yes, we were forming this symmetrical triangle, but it was a Sunday, and I mentioned that going into Monday Bitcoin is likely going to see the volatility, and then we'll end up seeing a break towards the upside. So that is what has been happening over the past couple of hours. Currently we do have a Bitcoin long position open. There are some very important ETF news that we need to get into. The volatility is caused by the importance of today until Wednesday. But if you've been watching the previous videos, you would already be up to date with them. So make sure to smash out the like button, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell if you haven't already to not miss on any of these important Bitcoin videos. But so far, we have a long position in 160% in profit. So massive congrats, crypto kids. We entered this trade at 40,570 USDT. It was near the very bottom. We had some buy orders for Bitcoin, and this one was able to fill. So going into the breaking news and why Bitcoin is pumping and where I think that Bitcoin can go next, coming up towards the approvals and after it, we saw that the 19B4s, and if you don't know what it is, it's just one of the procedures, one of the filings that have to be submitted prior to an ETF approval. They have been submitted in the past couple of days, and of course now we have the S1s. In the previous videos I've been mentioning, after we see the S1 approvals being filed, within 48 hours after the S1 filings and their approvals, we will most likely see the Bitcoin ETFs trading on the market. So it's already been raining S1s, and it's not even 8 a.m. in New York yet. And there is an 8 a.m. deadline, which is in approximately 1 hour and 15 minutes. Submissions we've received so far include BlackRock, ARK21, Shares Van Eck, Valkyrie, WisdomTree, and Invesco. And if we see the rest, which is including Grayscale and a couple more, then that would be absolutely amazing. But so far, so good. Fidelity also just submitted their S1s too. And it's looking very, very bullish in terms of approvals. So now that we've had the S1s, now that we've had the 19B4s, you can see that Eric Balchunas, one of the top ETF analysts in Bloomberg, which everybody's been following, and there was a very funny comment in my last video saying that if he's wrong and all of the ETFs get denied, then he is a little bit under the water. But hey, there's always a chance that these don't get approved, and in the case where they don't get approved, then it's not going to be looking too good for Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies overall. But look, he's been saying that it's super close to being done now that the S1s have already come in. This was on Jan 4th. We are almost there. It is now the final stretch of the race. And here we can see that, yes, the deadline was between the January 8th to the January 10th, but they're now relying more on the 11th. So Jan 11th to 10th, I think, is going to be the time where we may see the approvals. And if they come in a little bit earlier, we can even see the ETFs trading on the market by the end of this week. But how is this going to impact the crypto markets? Are we going to have a dump or a increase towards the upside? This is the question that everybody's asking, and that's what I'm going to be getting into. Just some more quick updates. Looks like BlackRock is the cheapest ETF to own right now because they have 0.2% for the first 6 months, and that undercuts every other ETF issuer. And why is this important, you may ask? Well, look, this is the very crucial thing. In the traditional finance space, it has to be very important that an asset is cheap to keep in your portfolio, because if we compare it to Coinbase or any other crypto exchange right now, to actually purchase Bitcoin and trade Bitcoin, you pay so much in fees. It is literally incredible how much fees we pay. And traditional investors, because they put in more money compared to retail traders, they don't want to lose out on those. Yes, it may seem small percentages, but in the macro scale, they can end up losing a lot of money. And this is why ETFs being super cheap is going to make it even more available for traditional investors to go and accumulate Bitcoin. And for those of you that have been saying, okay, why is an ETF even relevant? Yes, it's for institutions, but it's also not just institutional investors. Even the average Joe that has $10 million in his investment portfolio, well, he may prefer putting his money into a Bitcoin ETF rather than putting it into Bitcoin itself. It's because that the reason for that is the custody issue. Now, if I put in $1 million into Bitcoin and I'm not too experienced in Bitcoin, or even if I am very experienced in the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency space, I am going to get a little paranoid about it. Oh, what, Ledger, something's happening to Ledger? What, MetaMask is going down? I'm going to get a little bit paranoid. And it's understandable. You don't even want to leave your Bitcoin on an exchange either. So if I have $1 million in Bitcoin and that's like 10% of my portfolio, well, how am I going to store it? And in ETFs, it's basically almost impossible to lose your money from it getting stolen or something. So that's why a custodian, being the ETF provider, it provides a lot of trust to the actual investor, to the actual institutional investor as well. And we got to remember, if we're playing in the rule book of traditional investors and we want traditional and institutional adoption to come into Bitcoin, we kind of need to adjust things for their favoring, right? And we got to do things on how they're used to investing and provide them financial instruments like ETFs, where they can start, learning about the Bitcoin space, crypto space, and then slowly we can get them into the Web3 and blockchain area and make sure they adopt the technology as well. Not just purchasing Bitcoin as an ETF, but purchasing the underlying asset and using it as a form of transaction. But Bitcoin has been consolidating, and now we've eventually seen the pump towards the upside. I also gave a very nice breakdown over on my free Telegram channel yesterday too, describing exactly what I expect is going to happen. So we had the volume decreasing on Bitcoin. We had the price converging on a symmetrical triangle. We had the Bollinger Band squeezing too. But just because it was a Sunday and everybody was expecting what's going to happen with the ETFs today, I mentioned that we will probably see a consolidation. And then in the video, I mentioned that we could see a break towards the upside. If you guys want to join my free Telegram channel where I provide all of my, TA when I can't make a video at that moment in particular, I share it on the Telegram channel, which you can go to the description below and sign up for free. And also, if you are looking for a place to be trading Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies, you can also sign up to Bitflex, which is the exchange that I've been using so far on the channel, and I'm super happy with it. And using this thing, you can get up to $88,888 worth in prizes and bonuses. But the question lies, what is going to happen to Bitcoin? Right? Where do I personally see Bitcoin going? Of course, nothing in this video is financial advice, just my personal TA on the crypto markets only. It's super important that you take this analysis and then come to your own conclusions in your trading. That's how you will develop the most as a person and as a technical analyst and as a trader as whole. When I first started my journey, I was looking at all the other technical analysts and learning what they were doing and then apply it to my own charts. And eventually, I was coming to my own conclusions. But it's very, very crucial to look at what other people are doing too, to kind of get an idea on what's the overall market sentiment. But this was the 1 hourly chart. Bitcoin broke towards the upside. I'm not taking profits on my trade yet. I think, look, these upcoming 24, 48 hours, they're going to be super, super volatile. We're trying to break above this ascending triangle yet another time. If we confirm the breakout on this daily chart, then yes, I think Bitcoin could definitely hit 47K. It is possible. The most important thing to note is that now people are in doubt. Everybody's expecting a sell the news event. Everybody's like, okay, where to short Bitcoin? And I think this is bullish because whenever there is doubt in the market, usually the market does the exact opposite. Same with greed. If everybody's getting greedy, if everybody's expecting for $500,000 Bitcoin, $1 million Bitcoin, the market does the exact opposite and we see a downturn. So I think it's going to be very interesting for Bitcoin. I'm going to keep my long position open. We have our stop loss just above break even. So we're okay both ways. We're also, if Bitcoin does see a drop towards the downside after the approvals, we're going to be buying Bitcoin at the $38,000 range, which is going to take us to very, very good support. And I believe that should be on this chart here. So 34 and 38K, I'm buying, especially 31K if we ever see it again. But those are the levels to be buying Bitcoin if, in my opinion, if we end up going back towards the downside and have a sell the news event. Look, is it going to be a sell the news? The only thing that we know is that this move has been not 100% priced in, but I would say like 80% priced in. The last 9 months, it's been like 10 months now since the first BlackRock spot ETF announcement came by. And this entire move that we've seen, it's been because of the exact same hype. So maybe it's not 100% priced in, but from my standpoint, it is majorly priced in. We can have one final push towards the upside once we see the actual approval, once we see the actual trading in the short term, but people underestimate how much capital is going to be flowing into Bitcoin in the long run. So maybe, yes, we're going to have a short-term reversal towards the downside, but if we do not catch that move to be buying cheaper Bitcoin, then it's going to be very unfortunate that we miss Bitcoin in its 30s, because I don't think we're going to be seeing it there for much longer. We're in the second candle of this year, on the yearly scale, and the second green candle does suggest us to pump potentially to the $95,000 area, which is my bull market prediction for the end of this cycle. And if we reach there and end up breaking it, and you can see that there is a beautiful MRI breakout line there. If we get above this 95K level, then Bitcoin can surge even more. And there's one fundamental thing that also people don't understand. So the United States have a total of $34 trillion in national debt. Eventually, this system is going to implode on itself. And why is it going to implode on itself? Well, to pay back this interest on the debt they have, they need to print more money. And it's just an endless loop of printing more money to pay back their debt. And of course, at the end, they need to borrow more money from lending out bonds, etc. And they have an interest payment on that too. So it's kind of like an endless cycle, and it relies more on Keynesian economics. That's why I do not like Keynesian economics. I think that Hayek's version is much more suitable for society, as it's reliant on more decentralized societies and free market trade. That, in my personal opinion, if society started as that from the beginning, we wouldn't have any problems in nowadays society. But unfortunately, that's not the situation. Hayek's system is more ideal, but Keynesian economics is what governments follow at this current moment in time. And due to that, well, they're going to have to print more money to pay off their debt. Inflation is going to increase, and this cycle is at one point going to implode on itself. Now, once that happens, it is very much possible that Bitcoin has and enters a super cycle. Remember, we're trading Bitcoin against the United States dollar. If the United States dollar suddenly starts to lose value on an exponential scale compared to Bitcoin, which is now going to be traded as a commodity, it's going to be recognized as a commodity, meaning that it's going to be an inflationary hedge, then guys, I think gold, silver, and Bitcoin can see exponential rises towards the upside. We already know that Bitcoin is better than gold in every single way possible, other than the fact that if the internet dies, then right now Bitcoin may be out of use, but that's the only kind of deficit to it. And I really do think so, that Bitcoin, if we see a devaluation in the United States dollar, we can see an even pump towards the $1 million mark. And if you're saying, well, that's not possible, if you look at it, all of the other market capitalizations of companies and commodities are also going to increase simultaneously. So if we have Bitcoin at a $1 trillion market, or so actually a $10 trillion market cap, then gold is probably going to double its market cap too. So it's all going to be in a relative sense. But ladies and gents, Bitcoin is now at $45,000. I think we can pump. I think we'll face good resistance at the prior swing high at the 45.8K. Following the approvals, we may wake up to $48,500, but I think at that point the market's going to be very exhausted, and we may experience a sell-off. That is the place where I'm looking to take profit off of this position. And as a matter of fact, I am thinking of putting a take profit mark right now. I'm just going to put $48,250 for now, but I will update you. So that's the stop loss. So let's cancel, and let's put the take profit at 48,250. But if I decide to change this, we're going to be in approximately 120% more profit from where we are right now, which will take us to approximately 280% profit. Press confirm. If I decide to update it, I will for sure let you guys know. But ladies and gents, that is pretty much it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I now need to study for my math exam tomorrow, so guys, wish me luck. But all of you, take care, and I will see you soon. Hopefully, coming up to the ETF approvals, I'm super excited. I don't know what's going to happen. Everybody's been waiting for this. After we see the ETF approvals, it's going to be a little bit boring in the space. Everyone's going to be concentrating on the halving, and that's going to be the new hype. Guys, take care. See you soon. And yeah, bye-bye.